Looks like all the news media is here in Desert Hot Springs tonight for the medical marijuana meeting. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Stands one nation, with justice and liberty.
Inside God.
This evening and deliberate. It's my prayer that we deliberate and listen and act with understanding, wisdom, tolerance, and compassion. Amen.
We have reports from our...
This is item 13.
13.
I believe the city attorney is going to initially address that item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Item 13A for your consideration is adoption of an urgency ordinance establishing a 45-day moratorium on the acceptance, processing, or issuance of any zoning permit, use permit, or other entitlement for the establishment and operation, of medical marijuana dispensaries in any residential or non-residential zone, which essentially means anywhere in the city. There are quite a few people here tonight, so I'm going to keep my staff report brief. I'm happy to respond to individual questions from the council at your request and your convenience. The action that precipitated this item on your agenda this evening is the city received an application for a business license for a business to open and conduct a medical marijuana dispensary in the city. The city's zoning code currently does not recognize such a use. The city does not have any regulations governing such type of use. Given that situation, it is the city attorney's recommendation that the council take advantage of the leeway, the authority given to it under the government code, specifically section 65858, which is the authority to adopt a temporary moratorium similar to what I've just discussed with you. That action would give your staff, meaning me, Mr. Mendoza, Ms. Gallant, the chance to look at the issue carefully, to conduct the legal research and the factual research necessary to come back to you with a solid recommendation on the issue of whether these types of uses should be allowed in the city of Desert Hot Springs, and if so, under what regulations. As more detailed in the staff report, there is currently essentially a conflict between California state law and federal law. Very briefly, California law allows for medical marijuana dispensaries under certain guidelines and regulations in the Health and Safety Code. But under the federal law, the Controlled Substances Act, it is illegal to possess, distribute, etc., marijuana for any purpose. Marijuana is a controlled substance under that act. Given those inconsistencies in state and federal law, we ask that you direct the city attorney to research the issue and come back to you with recommendations at the end of this 45-day period.
Mr. Mayor, I have something to report to the council.
Mayor Pro Tem?
And I see state your name for the record.
Lanny Swerdlow. I am director of the Marijuana Anti-Prohibition Project, Riverside, San Bernardino County's only medical marijuana patient support group and law reform organization. You've heard the health benefits. You've heard the fact that the voters of California voted for this. Proposition 215 did more than just legalize the use of marijuana, by the line item in it said that the state shall implement a program to make this medicine available to the patients. The state
of California has done just about nothing. The elected officials of our state and our local officials have not done a lot. You have the opportunity to do what the voters of California directed the officials to do. Now, your city attorney talks about this federal-state conundrum. Well, it's not there. And I don't know if your attorney is familiar with Section 3.5 of the California Constitution. Are you, sir? You are? Then can you please explain to them how it relates?
Mr. Mayor, I'm not.
Well, I'll explain it. I'll explain it. Section 3.5 of the California Constitution specifically deals with what do you do when there's a conflict between state and federal law. It tells you what you're supposed to do. And it says It says that when federal, just because a state law is made illegal under federal law, that does not mean that you cannot enforce a state law. Under the California Constitution, even though something is illegal under federal law, you are duty bound to enforce it because you are a state official. You're an elected official in the state of California. If you do not do it, you're violating your oath to uphold the Constitution of the state of California. Look it up, section 3.5. It gives you directions on what you're supposed to do when there is a conflict between federal and state law. And the directions are enforce state law. And this was recently ruled in San Diego. We just had the court ruling there last November that said San Bernardino sued them saying it's unconstitutional. And the court said, oh, no, it's not. There's no conflict between state and federal. This is the latest court ruling in November. Of course, they're appealing. It's taxpayers' money they want to waste. But right now, the court says there's no conflict. Palm Springs and Palm Desert have moratoriums. But when they enacted their moratoriums, they had an operating dispensary in their cities. And they allowed those dispensaries to continue to operate while they worked on the rules and regulations for the establishment of dispensaries in their city. There's no reason why you cannot do the same thing, Palm Springs and Palm Desert. The city of Desert Hot Springs is not going to come crashing down if you allow this dispensary to continue to operate. One last thing, and then I will sit down. In that packet of stuff I passed out to you.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Swerdlow, time is up. I'm sorry.
Please give me just 30 seconds more, sir. Would you like me to have 30 more seconds? Listen. Your attorney had a long time to make statements that were not true, and I please ask you to let me just have 30 seconds.
I'm sorry. Everyone has received the same amount of time. I have here a report from the city of Oakland. Excuse me. In this report,
Mr. Swerdlow, I'm sorry. With all due respect, everyone has...
You know, sir, you made some outrageous statements that need to be addressed. You rattled all this stuff off. About... all this stuff off about how these... Here's a report from the city of Oakland. Let me read this to you. During the first 7 months of operation, permitted cannabis dispensaries have shown that in general...
That's what you guys do.
Mr. Swerdlow.
You don't want to hear the truth.
Would you have me arrested, Mayor? Would you have me arrested for 60 seconds of speech?
Excuse me.
Is this the kind of compassion and understanding that Desert Hot Springs wants to show? Shame on you!
We're going to call a brief recess.
5 minutes, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, we will have a recess.
I just want to read this to you.
Excuse me, sir. We are in recess.
Can I talk to you for a second, sir?
No.
Can I talk to you?
You're in recess.
But you're making a decision tonight. You can't read it tonight. It's too much. If I would have known about this along in advance, why didn't your staff contact us? They've been doing all kinds. Why didn't you contact us, sir? Why did you never call us? You did all this research. Why didn't you contact a single patient?
I can talk to you now, sir. I can talk to you now. Let's go. We got 5 minutes.
Are you gonna revise your opinion by what I say?
I don't know. You got to
All right, let's talk.
They don't talk in front of cameras, so they might hear them. Yeah, they don't want to hear that. He's going to now. He's not going to. Yeah. When they're going to deny you your legal right, they don't want to.
Don't worry. I'm not going to beat him up. Go somewhere else. I don't want him with me. You leave. No, it's not. No one's going to attack us. Will you tell him to leave us alone?
Yeah, I'm okay. Seriously, I'm going to go.
No, stay away. I don't want him. Listen, you make mistakes. You make mistakes. What report? This is a report from the city of Oakland, the only official report ever issued by any city on a study. And it says, during the first 7 months of operation, permitted cannabis dispensaries have shown that in general they can function without creating a nuisance in the neighborhoods or draining police resources. Why didn't you present this report to him? Why didn't you contact us? Who did you contact? Who did you contact?
This is an urgency item. I'm not going to argue with you. I told you I would look at your information. I'm going to take it.
I don't want them to close the dispensary down. This is the problem. Who made this?
Swerdlow.
Who did you
Mr.
contact?
Swerdlow.
Who did you contact? Please tell me who you
May I
contacted.
respond to what you said?
Yes, I'm waiting to hear you contact.
May I ask who this is? I'm sorry.
Oh, Nancy Kane,
Desert Hot Springs
Ms. Kane,
resident.
I've asked. Oh, okay, you're not with the press.
No.
Okay, are you not going to give this to the press just because I've asked the press to
no,
give
I
us some
won't
time
going to
on it?
give it to the press. I'm going to give it to Lanny.
I'm not afraid of anything, but I also like to have a conversation outside of the earshot of 50 people. And he's raising things that I want to be able to deal with. Now, if you want me not to deal with them, I won't talk to them. Okay.
Tell you what, let's step over here. Let's give him a couple minutes.
Okay. How's business?